Hello again, everybody. I'm Chompi, and today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. Basically, I'm going to show you, you're going to see gameplay on the screen, and I'm going to add commentary to it later. Post commentary or whatever you want to call it. But today's topic is bullying. That's right, bullies. Recently, my girlfriend told me something and it was pretty disturbing. Her boss has a daughter who just started high school, so she's like 14, 15 years old. And a friend of hers was bullied to the point where she took her own life. Now, I was pretty horrified when I heard that because I'm really affected by stories like that. I just can't, not just for her parents, but and for her, of course, but for her peers, the people at school, anyone else who's bullied. It triggered something in me, and I thought, I need to make a video about this. The first thing I want to talk about is a little bit of bully psychology. How they pick the person they're going to bully and the things they do. And I also want to talk about how you can help someone who's being bullied. And I have a few stories of my own to share, but I'll bring those up later. And then the third thing, of course, is what can you do if you're being bullied? What options are there for you? And there are options. There are things you can do. And I talked to a bunch of my friends about this before I decided to make the video, and I just had them kind of share their experiences with it. And of course, it's a bunch of guys, and they're like, you need to punch that bully in the face. Show him what's what, and he'll never mess with you again. And yes, that can be true, but it might get you into more trouble. It might lead you into something that's even worse. So I'm going to try and avoid that route. You're going to have to be the judge of it yourself, because I don't know your situation. The things I'm going to share with you, that's my experience, and yours might be different. Just take the information I give you and try to make the best decision you can, because ultimately it's up to you. But what you need to know is that you're not alone, and there are things you can do, and we're going to help you. I guess we'll just go ahead and start with the first topic, and that's bullies. What are they doing? What are they thinking? What is going on in their crazy douchebag heads, right? Okay, picture a kid who, his dad hits him, his parents are verbally abusive to him or her, her mom tells her she's fat. This is the kind of behavior that these kids are learning. So naturally, they go to school and they project what they've learned onto a victim they've chosen. How do they choose these victims? Well, a loner, for example, someone who doesn't have a lot of friends, or any friends, or someone who's considered nerdy, or, the smallest, boy in class, the skinniest, scrawniest kid with glasses, or, a girl who's overweight, or a girl who's too skinny. They bully over anything they can think of. So, these are the kids they start, they know what's going on around them. They know who hangs with who, and who has friends and who doesn't. So they're gonna find that loner and they're gonna latch onto him. Maybe they take your lunch money if you're younger, if you're maybe middle school. It's the big guy and his dad's real mean to him, and so he comes to school and he finds a scrawny kid and he's like, give me your lunch money. Or like I said, I gave you examples of the kind of kids who get bullied. Or maybe you don't wear the coolest thing, whatever's considered cool these days. Maybe you don't have it or you can't afford it. You might get picked on. So, a bully is someone who has learned really horrible behavior and is going to project it onto an outcast or someone who, the things we talked about. The biggest thing I want to talk about is not standing around and letting someone get bullied, but standing up to them, helping someone out. You don't have to be this kid's best friend after you help him, get rid of a bully, or you stand up to a bully. That doesn't mean you need to take them under your wing, whatever. all you're doing, I mean, which you can, of course, you can always be friends with whoever you want, it's your choice. But you don't have to. So if you see that someone is repeatedly getting bullied, stand up for them. You know, you see some kid in the hall and he's being cornered by a group of people or by one douchebag, go have their back. You know, don't, because it could be you. You could be the next one who's going to get singled out. You could come to school wearing something that's considered dorky or out of style, or you fart in class, or you pee your pants, or whatever. You know, you could be the next target, and I'm sure you would like somebody to stand up for you if it ever happens to you. So I just want to bring home the point that you need to help these people because they need help. Now, I want to give kind of an example of something that I did in high school, probably my sophomore year, I guess. There was this kid, Lewis, and he was really happy, he's always smiling, he was always in a good mood, you know, but the thing was, is he was kind of slow. And the thing was, you could tell him anything and he would do it. You could, you know, whisper in his ear, go say this to that person, and it doesn't matter what it was, he would do it every single time. And I had a few friends in high school who would send him over to girls and have him say like really disgusting, horrible things, and maybe he'd get slapped, or maybe they'd tell him off, or maybe, you know, the girl would yell at the guy who sent him there. But it was like a few days of this. And, you know, I was sitting there and I was pretty mad. I didn't like it. I never did it. I thought it was stupid. But finally, you know what? I said something to my friends. You know, I stood up. I remember slamming my hand on the table and standing up, putting my finger in my friend's face and going, "You cannot do that. That's not okay. You're an a-hole." And he just kind of stopped and looked at me like, what? And I was like, "Oh yeah, you heard me." And you know what? It worked. I mean, they were my friends. I mean, maybe you're friends with someone who's a bully, and you need to put them in their place. Do that. Do it. You will feel good about it. I promise you. What I really want to talk about is what you can do if you are the one being bullied. Well, the first thing you gotta know, it's not your fault. Bullies are douchebags. They're gonna do it. You got picked because maybe you're alone, things that we talked about earlier. We already covered that. What should you do? Well, one thing you can do, and I know that people are going to be like, "Oh, it's only going to make things worse." But this is for really your own sanity. And that is, find someone that you trust. It could be like, it could be a counselor, it could be your parents, it could be a best friend, it could be your favorite aunt, your favorite uncle, whatever. Just tell them what's going on. Tell them how you feel. Tell them every single thing. Just vent. Be mad. Be sad. Cry. Yell. Scream. Whatever you need to do. Just get it out. Say it. Say it out loud and put it out there. And they're going to try and help you. Maybe your parents go to the principal. Maybe you think that's going to make things worse, but it's not going to. And if it does, we have another way of dealing with that. But 9 times out of 10, they are going to, your parents or whoever you trust, whatever, is going to talk to the principal, talk to the counselor, whatever, talk to this kid's parents, and that kid's going to get in trouble. And yeah, this kid might come after you, or this group might come after you. They may, you know, write horrible things about you on the internet, but we're going to deal with that. So that's the first thing, is calling them out to someone that you trust. And then we go from there. I know when I was in high school, I was in Hawaii, and the locals didn't like Army brats, which is what I am. I'm an Army brat, so I moved around a lot. There was this group of Samoan girls who would eyeball me everywhere I went. These girls, there was 3 of them. They would look at me, they would stare me down, what do you call it, mean mugging? I don't know what people say these days, but they would stare at me like they wanted to tear me apart. And I would just do mind my own business, whatever. I was kind of little. I'm pretty short, but I was like kind of scrawny, I guess, then. I would avoid them, but there was this time when they came up to me and they were like, "You gotta meet me in the girls' bathroom and blah 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 blah, and we're gonna beat you up and blah 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 blah." And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll meet you there. I didn't go. Why would I go? They admitted they were gonna beat me up. No, I'm not going to the bathroom to get my ass kicked. Absolutely not. Avoidance is the moral of the story. I avoided them. They never bothered me again. I think that was the last time they actually did bother me. Don't go down the hall that you know the bully is every single day. Find a new way to go. And that's another thing you can do. Make friends, even if it's a group of people that you would consider not cool. Be friends with them, man. I tell you what, the smart kids, they're worth it. They're the people you want to be friends with. Power in numbers. That's another thing. Like, join a club, make some friends, make one friend, make friends you never thought you would ever have. You know, talk to these people, hang out with them. You know, join a club. It's after school you'll be with this club. You know, the bully's not going to hunt you down with a bunch of people. No. They want one person to single out. If you're with a group of people, that's going to help you. And these are people who are going to be your friend and stand up for you because you would do it for them. Another thing is cyberbullying, right? You have this kid, they're blasting you on Facebook, they're saying all this messed up stuff. Well, it's easy to be a douche on the internet. I mean, you could print that out. You could show that to your parents. You could say, look what this kid said to me. He said this and this and this and this, and this is every single day. You know, this group of people, they're saying this to me on my Facebook page. They're saying this to me, you know, on their pages. Like, look, show it to somebody. That's evidence right there. Those idiots are incriminating themselves. You have to stand up for yourself. That's the biggest thing. Stand up for yourself. Do not let yourself get pushed around. And if it's, you know, you taking the high road and walking away and, you know, acting like you don't care, do that. Or if it's, you know, being brave enough to tell somebody that this is happening, do that. If you have to play, you know, if whatever you have to do, stand up for yourself. You don't have to feel isolated. It's not your fault. You don't have to feel embarrassed. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. The bully should be embarrassed, not you. And I guess that's really all I have to say about it. If you have any suggestions, I'm going to leave some links that I found while researching in the description. And if you are a kid, you know, share it with your friends, because there are messages in here that it's not just for someone who's being bullied, it's for people who see it happen every single day and do nothing. You know, show it to your friends. If you're a parent, show it to your kids. Maybe they'll show it to their friends, you know, because I just can't hear any more stories like that. I can't hear that someone was being bullied to the extent to where they take their own life. That's not okay with me, and it shouldn't be okay with you. Yeah, so thank you so much for listening to me rant about bullying, and I hope you have an awesome day, and I hope you stand up for yourselves. Okay, bye!